being a Canadian in the Philippines and your pension, etc. Now, the very first thing I want to say to you out of the gate here is, if you think your embassy will rescue you, no, they will not. Even that country that's to the south of us, our friend Robert got sick, and the first thing that they said is, deal with your overstay. Go deal with it. No, we're not taking you home. No, no, we will not rescue you. So if you think your country's going to rescue you, wrong answer. You know, if there's a terrorist thing and you're caught in the middle of it, yeah, they might be helping out. But, you know, realistically, day-to-day stuff, you are just a cog in the wheel. Bank accounts for Canadians. You do not have to jump through any hoops at all. You can walk in, passport, some ID, boom, open up a bank account. Unlike the US, where you have to register that bank account with your IRS. It's the very first thing the bank people say when they stare at me, "Sir, are you American?" I say no, and they go, "Easy." So yeah, it's easy, and it's well worth having a bank account just in case, you know, some buffer cash. We always have two bank accounts, guys, in Canada and here. For whatever reason, we've had, you name the scenario, the bank account gets frozen for whatever reason. Oops, I just about forgot an important piece of information. If you're one of these people that is working in both countries, Canada and the US, that means you're filing taxes in both countries. And this is not uncommon with sales guys that are running back and forth across the borders with their company, and they have to file in both countries. So watch out when you're doing your bank account. If you think because you're a Canadian citizen that you can just open a bank account, be careful, because the IRS is going to catch that. There's a lot of crosstalk between those two countries. Now, on to healthcare. And I'm going to say the province of British Columbia. I'm saying that on purpose because each province and territory might be slightly different, but I don't think so. But please check, okay? In the province of British Columbia, you're required to be in country or in the province 5 months plus a day. So how do you figure out a month? You take 364, you divide it by 12. That is the days of a month, okay? A lot of people make that mistake and they include February as being a month, and it's not. It doesn't work out that way. So be aware of that. Divide by 12, that's how many days are in a month. 5 months plus a day is our BC medical, the requirement to be in the country in order to qualify for medical. Now, BC has now stopped the administration fee that they were charging before, and so that's gone by the way of the dodo bird. But I have always been making sure that I contact BC Medical that I'm going to be out of the country when I leave. Probably not necessary anymore. It's just become a habit back to the days when we had to pay that administration fee. Now, if I'm out of the country for more than 5 months plus a day, if I'm out of the country, because I'm allowed to be out 7 months less a day, right? The medical could be a problem for you. So if you end up with malaria or dengue fever or something along those lines, you've dealt with it locally, but now you need to get home and make sure that everything medically is buttoned up. There's a requalification period, okay? And this feeds into why you need to do your paperwork. Make sure that all the paperwork is in play. The last thing you need to do is find out that, you know, they consider you dead or any of those types of things and you don't have the coverage, okay? You don't want to have to deal with that in the future, especially when that type of thing tends to happen when you're on your extreme retirement ages. Okay, so next is OAS and CPP. CPP is pretty straightforward, guys. When you go to qualify for your pension, I believe it's the last 3 or 5 years of earnings. This is why I have not gone back to work after I retired at 55. I was making good coin, so I don't want to affect my pension level. And to add to that, You do not have to have any requirement to be in the country under CPP, so you can be away the whole time. However, now we come to OAS, and OAS is one of those things where you have to be in Canada 6 months plus a day. And it can be a catch-22, because what is it going to cost you to fly back and forth? What is it going to cost you to maintain some form of residence in Canada, even if it's at one of your kids' places? Okay, what is that going to cost you to maintain that? Because where it stands right now, Lynn and I easily make that kind of money and still have money in our pocket, even though we're flying back and forth. But in your case, that might not be the case. In British Columbia, of course, we just fly direct. In Ontario, you're going to have to either go through the Middle East or fly to Vancouver and then go down. So you have to do those calculations to find out if OAS is really important to you or not important to you. If you opt out of OAS, which is an automatic thing, you still have to file your paperwork every year for your Revenue Canada. That's how they are going to determine your OAS and your pension, CPP. If you don't file, you're going to be in trouble. And I'm driving that home on purpose, guys. Just because you leave your native country doesn't mean that you don't still have some responsibilities there, unless you have no desire to ever go home and you do not care about your various pensions. Then you can just merely walk away. But CPP, you paid into that for a long time. Are you prepared to give it up over doing an e-file with an accountant that you could set up before you even leave country? So think about it, guys. When you live in a, ready for it? Democratic socialist country, yes, Canada is a socialist country. By definition of socialism, I'm throwing this rant in here on purpose, all that our government is doing is acknowledging that everybody that lives in the country should have the basic necessities of education, healthcare, and a pension. Okay, this is why they have gone to, making sure that housewives have a pension. Okay, they never did any earnings, but there is a way around that now, and they can get it. I don't know how many housewives exist anymore, when for most of us both have to work. So there you go, guys. Paperwork, but once you've done it, it's pretty straightforward. And I will add this to this whole mix, guys. It's very important, very, very, very important that you have somebody set up that can act on your behalf in your native country, set up passwords, do whatever you need to do, as if it's your Facebook account or your YouTube account or any of that type of stuff. Set this stuff up. I will again cite Robert. Robert ends up in the hospital. Friends start to try and contact the family, and then the family thought it was just a scam. Okay? There are some basic things that you need to do. It's very, very macho man to turn around and say, if I die, I die. Yeah, okay. So when you're 76 and you still got a lot of years left, you're deciding, I'm sick right now. I'm gonna die. I call bullshit. Okay, so from this democratic socialist by birth, Canadian, says later gators.